Hey there, true crime friends. It is time again for Lunchtime True Crime. Do I have a case for you today? But first, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We need to talk about Philip Markoff. Do you know this dude? The Craigslist killer? I remember this case. Cast your mind back low these many years to 2010, the early days of like internet connectivity. Now listen, a lot of people were on the internet before 2010, but around 2010, that's when people really started to like meet other people and do other things on the web aside from just like see what time their favorite store opened or closed. Look, Philip Markoff. Preppy kid, came from like a broken home, but nothing wrong coming from a broken home. Your parents get divorced. That is certainly not the end of the world. It certainly does not make you a killer. Philip was really, really bright and a nice looking kid, well put together. Here's the thing though. His mother was a single parent. And listen, it is not easy to be a single parent. She had to make money. And so she went to work in casinos. Okay, fine. That's a perfectly honorable job. So she was like, look, I'm going to give you some crayons and coloring books or whatever. You sit right here in the restaurant. I'm going to go on my job interview or I'm going to go to work or whatever. And you just sit here. And he was like, okay, mommy. And he sat there coloring pictures and doing whatever. And he's like, what is that? Blackjack over there? Poker? Texas Hold'em? What are they doing? And so he learned how to play all the casino games really, really well. And I'm like, okay. That's a skill. And if your mom is broke, you might be able to make some extra money to help out the family. Okay, great. So he grows up into a full-grown adult human being. Fine. And everybody's like, he's so smart. He went to college in New York State. One of the SUNY schools, I forget which one. Hey, SUNY, shout out to y'all. I have a couple kids in SUNY schools. That's State University of New York. Anyway. So he said, well, I think it was at SUNY Albany. I don't know, but he did really, really well in like math and science and whatever. He's like, you know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be a doctor. And while he was at school in his undergrad years up at SUNY, he met this nice girl from New Jersey. Ooh, I know a little something about nice girls from New Jersey. I might be one of those my very own self. Anyway, so he meets this nice girl from New Jersey and he is like boyfriend of the year. Now the girlfriend had a very traditional family. Mom and dad had been married for years and years and they were still happily in love. And he was like, you know what? I love their family and I want to be part of this family. And he would cook for her when she was sick and bring her flowers and open doors and all the things that you want a good boyfriend to do. And she was like, I am dating this guy and he wants to be a doctor. I'm a nice girl from New Jersey from a good family. What more could you want? So they're dating, and sometimes he disappears for little bits of time, but whose boyfriend doesn't? Nobody thinks he's out here committing murder. At least I would not think my boyfriend was out committing murder. So anyway, they get engaged, and she's like, I got the ring. I'm gonna plan my wedding. She's planning a nice beach wedding down there on the Jersey Shore, and mom and dad are helping out. Everything is great, except for old Philip. When she's down in New Jersey planning her wedding, now he's in school up in Boston. And he's like, baby, go to New Jersey for the weekend. Maybe I'll hit the casino or hang out a little bit. I'm not going to be doing anything exciting. You see, I have all this homework to do so that I can become a doctor. And she's like, okay, you go do what you have to do to become a doctor. And so he buys the book Grey's Anatomy, which turns out that's a book and a TV show, both of which I understand are very good. So he takes the book Grey's Anatomy and cuts a little hole in it. You know how you do, how you hollow out a book so you can store things in it. You don't have one of those? I have one of those upstairs. Anyway, although I turned mine into a purse, he hollowed out Grey's Anatomy so he could hide a gun. Okay, I would not have recommended that, but do what you got to do. So he gets a gun and he hides it in a book and he puts it right on the shelf. And she's like, look at those medical books. My fiance is so smart. And so while she goes off and she's doing other things, he's on Craigslist like, the internet. Let me see what I can find. Now, truly, I thought Craigslist was the place where you found like an old bicycle or an apartment to rent or something like that. Turns out, you can find sex workers. Can you say sex workers on YouTube? So it turns out you can find workers of the intimate variety on the Craigslist. And so he's like, oh, look at here. I can find a lady who can do the kind of work that I desire to have done on my nether regions. And so he's just like, okay. So he's meeting up with all these ladies and he's like beating them up and robbing them and taking their panties. Also their money and their gift cards and credit cards, whatever they have, but also their panties. And so he's taking the underwear and keeping them in a sock Okay. And then taping it to the bottom of his bed. I do not. What do you, first of all, I don't want nobody's dirty laundry. I don't want my dirty laundry. Why would you want that? Clearly that's a man thing. I don't know nothing about it. But he's going on with his like secret Craigslist life and his good boyfriend fiance life. Okay, great. So the more she plans the wedding, the more she's out of town. The more she's out of town, the more he has time to stalk Craigslist. But mostly, he's just robbing the intimate employees, which is not good and I do not recommend. But I guess that's better than unaliving them. So this one girl, Julissa, honey, listen. Julissa was a New York City girl and she had no time for your mess. She had a whole plan in place. She was from New York City, but she would come to Boston for work. And by work, I mean intimate employment. So she had a system in place and she would call her girlfriend and be like, okay, look, here's where I'm going. This is where I'm going to be, blah, blah, blah. And I will call you after my client leaves. And then that's our check-in system. And I'll know that everything is okay. So he robs one woman and the lady gets eyes on him. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to tell the cops next time I see you. Then he goes to hook up with Julissa. And Julissa, instead of being just like, here's my gift cards and my cash or whatever, honey, Julissa fought back. And she was like, ugh. It was clear that she had been in a fight. Only that gun that he was keeping in the medical book, he used it to unalive her. Terrible, terrible. But because she's in a hotel, they have him on video, just like, oh, okay, well, I just unalived this girl. Let me just take her money and her panties and stroll on down the street and whatever. And everybody was like, dang, Julissa, not only was she a New York City girl, she was also a college student. She was doing this work to pay her way through college. And also she was trying to get her life together. She had gone to AA meetings. And in the reenactment, she's like, hi, my name is Julissa and I stopped drinking several months ago. I'm in Boston for work. Not every time I hear somebody say they're traveling for work, I'm going to be like, what kind of work you do, girl? I mean, not just in AA meetings. Anybody I meet any place, I'm like, kind of work you on this airplane. Where are you going for work? Kind of work you do. Anyway, so, but this dude has gone from being the Craigslist robber to the Craigslist killer. And it's like, oh, you're not supposed to. That's very bad karma. But he was like, I still got things to do. So the girlfriend comes home and she's sick. He makes her a pot of like homemade soup. Like, baby, let me feed it. Let me blow it for you. I don't want it to be too hot to burn your little mouth. Yes, I shot a woman in the head, but you don't know nothing about that. Here, have a little spoon of soup. So he's taking really good care of his girlfriend. The next time she goes home for more wedding planning stuff, he's like, okay, let me go on out here and see what else I could do. And so he meets up with a woman who gives erotic massage named Cynthia. What is an erotic massage? Is that like you massage and then your ending gets happy? I do not understand. But Cynthia was an exotic dancer and an erotic massager, and her husband was like her business partner. So she had a deal with her husband. Listen, you go up to the room, you meet the person, and then I'm going to sit here in the bar. And after a few minutes, I'm going to call you on the cell phone. And if you answer and say, yes, everything is fine, then I'm going to leave it be. But if you don't answer, I have the extra key. I'm going to break in the room. So Cynthia goes up to the room and she's like, hey, come on in. How you doing? And apparently, according to Cynthia, he was polite and they were just like chitty chat and have a nice time. And then he whips out a gun. She turns her back to make him a drink. Honey, he whips out a gun and handcuffs. That Grey's Anatomy gun? Oh, he still got it. You would think if you had unalived somebody with a gun that you would like throw it in the window, but not this Mama Luke. He kept the gun, got some handcuffs, and handcuffed her and put her face down on the floor. Okay, first of all, if you're going to put me face down on the floor in a hotel room, please just shoot me. The germs! My face is down there with the germs. I almost had a panic attack. I was watching the reenactment. I'm like, not your face! Don't let them put your face on the floor! Oh my God! She might have died from the germs that she got off that carpet. Her face was on the... Okay, whatever. I was very, very distracted by that part of it. But then as she's face down on the floor, clearly near death because, ew, the phone rings. And Philip was like, wait, who's calling you? Why would somebody be calling you? Cynthia was like, I do not know. And so, because she didn't answer the phone, the husband who's sitting down at the bar just waiting is like, nope, what you're not going to do is mess with my wife. Yes, I'm going to let her make your endings happy, but you're not going to... harm my wife in any other way. So the husband runs upstairs to the second floor of the hotel room. Was it the second floor? Whatever. Goes up to the hotel room and bursts in with his key and sees Philip holding a gun on his wife, and his wife's face is on the floor. It's a horrific, horrific scene of a woman's face on carpet. Hotel carpet. Public hotel carpet. Okay, I could not get over the carpet part of it. Anyway, and so the killer is surprised, the husband is surprised, and they're like, ah! And then they run their separate ways. Like, Philip knocks the husband down. He falls down in the hallway and then runs out. And then, of course, instead of chasing after the killer, the husband does the only honorable thing and takes his wife's face off that carpet, because that alone might kill her. So they were like, okay, we got away. We're going to call the police right away. So they call the police. The police pull the video tape. And here's the thing that was striking to them. The reason this dude was so good at poker and all these casino games is because he had a really good poker face. No matter what happened, kept his face straight. That could mean he was good at poker. That could also mean he's a psychopath. So anyway, they have all this videotape of him just like, strolling down the street like nothing happened. And everybody was like, well, obviously he's going to stop for a little while, but we're going to investigate this. And they took his picture from the video camera, from the hotel, from all these other places, and they're showing it all on the news and they're showing it everywhere. But oh boy, it's just like, I'm still out here in these streets, and continues to solicit workers off Craigslist and continues to rob them. It's unclear whether he had just such a strong compulsion that he could not stop. Like, dude, a smart criminal would at least lay low for a little while. He had no chill. He just kept going. And the unknowing fiance was just like, so I got my nails done. Do you think this is the right color for our wedding? And he's like, you know what? Let's get away for the weekend, because the heat is on. His picture is everywhere, all over the news. And people are like, wait, isn't that Philip from medical school? Isn't that Philip, Megan's fiance? What is going on? So the cops are like, okay, we have found this Mama Luke. We're gonna track him down. And so they see him and the girlfriend on their way off to a casino for the weekend. And they're like, we're just gonna go to Foxwoods and have a good time. The cops are like, boop, boop. You know how they like do that little beep, beep on their little, the sirens on the top of their car. And they pull him over. And he's like, oh, hey, how y'all doing? And they were like, good. We're going to throw these cuffs on you and slam you up against this car and take you down to the station. And the fiance was like, my boyfriend has the best manners. There's no way he's a killer. And the cops were like, right, we're going to need you to sit over in that other room. So they set her in the other room and they set Philip down. And he was just like, there's nothing you can say to me or about me, because I did not do a thing. And they were like, okay, so we looked in your apartment and here's a mountain of evidence. This dude was apparently very, very good at medical school, very bad at crime. Everything he did on the internet, he didn't even try and block it. They found underwear, all the underwear he was saving in a sock under his bed. They found that. They said he was a digital idiot, because they were able to trace all of his movements. He had blood drops from where he shot Jalissa. The blood drops were still on his shoes. Dude, you kept the gun and the shoes. You ain't thrown nothing away? Nothing? And the fiance was like, I believe in my boyfriend. And they were like, how about this? And they showed her the panties that was under the bed. And she was like, wait, what now? You found that where? So she visited him after a couple of months. She visited him in jail. She's like, look, I really appreciate that homemade chicken noodle soup you made for me that time. But can you explain to me why somebody else's dirty drawers was under our bed? A whole lot of them. No good reason. So listen, me and you are done. We gonna have to break up. And he was like, what? Not that. Yes, I'm a robber and a degenerate gambler and a murderer, but I can't believe you're breaking up with me. And she's like, yeah, dude, nah. We done so. I'm going to go back to New Jersey. I'm going to put my feet in the sand down there on the Jersey shore. I'm going to try and get my deposit back for that beautiful beach wedding we were planning. And these pink nails that I had planned for our wedding, no, these are not that. I will never have pink nails again. Goodbye. And he was like, not the pink nails. He was hysterical. And so they put him on suicide watch because he was upset because his girlfriend broke up with him. Sir, you had bigger fish to fry. But clearly, your priorities might have been a little messed up. But we could have gathered that from the murderation. So it makes sense. And so they put him on unalive watch over there in the jail, and he tried several times to unalive himself. Once when he first got to prison, once when the fiance broke up with him, and once on the anniversary of the day they were supposed to get married. And everybody was like, yeah, that's sad for you, but sir, you committed a lot of crimes and left a lot of evidence. And so I sincerely hope that Megan went on and found herself an actual decent dude as opposed to this Mama Luke. Also, were there red flags? I need to know what they were. What are the things now that she can look back and be like, oh, the time that he came home and was carving out all them pages from books, I should have suspected something. I just want to know, like, what did you see, Megan girl? Please tell us everything. So, ultimately, on the 1-year anniversary of the day they would have been married, he successfully unalived himself. And no one was sad. Although the families of the victims were like, we did not get our day in court. What we really wanted to have happen was to go to court and to have him lie to us. And then to have the state of Massachusetts take him out in the back and unalive him there. I mean, honestly, to me, this was just a more efficient way to get that done. You're not spending taxpayers' dollars on the trial and on all that other stuff. He's just gone. Here's the thing. Because he was a medical student, he knew all the perfect ways to unalive himself. And I'm not going to go into details, but those details are out there. And he went above and beyond to make sure that he did not remain on this side of glory and that nobody found him in time. And that if they tried to like CPR him back to life, that wasn't going to work. He was very thorough. And frankly, although he was obviously a terrible person, I appreciate the thoroughness with which he unalived himself. And apparently he didn't leave a mess. Nothing for anybody to clean up, or very little. I mean, you could just like scoop it all into like a body bag all at once. Like when you take a pooper scooper and you get it all on the first try, that's kind of like what he was like. And he was excrement. So now he's gone. Okay. So listen, you know your boss is looking for you. Please go back to work. Go back to it. You just saw him pass by. Go. Take your earbuds out, act like you wasn't listening to me over your lunch hour, and go and act like you was working. Okay, you have a great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Lunchtime True Crime.